Welcome to Rolling Like a 18-wheeler. This is my first video and I want to share with you my experience of being a truck driver, being a female in the industry, also chemical, hazmat. I done did it all. I done did dry van. I'm mainly more experienced with tankers, but I didn't even try Greyhound. So anything dealing with transportation, I have pretty much put my foot on the pedal. This is my first video, like I said. I am nervous, I know you could tell, but I have noticed throughout my years, people will reach out and just, I guess, comfortable enough to talk to me. Young, old, man, woman, they would just ask questions about trucking. Trucking came easy to me. I was blessed. You know, it took 2 weeks. I got in the truck and I kept rolling. I've been rolling for 16 years, since 2006. So now I want to kind of give it back as far as how I can help or how I can make somebody else successful in it. It is a challenging profession, but it is a good profession because you might not have the job that you want, but with that CDL, you're going to have a job. You're going to have a job. There's no such thing as unemployed. Even with AI, the robots coming and stuff, it's still going to take some time. And like, I'm in chemicals, so they still got to find a way to function and maneuver through chemical plants, you know? So it still take a little minute for them to realize and research and try to figure it out. But with hazmat and chemicals, the surge, different things like that, I really don't see how a robot can just figure that out. You can chime in and tell me where I'm wrong at. I know it's years to come, but by then, I guess my great-great-grandchildren will be watching a robot drive a truck. Until then, let's get this money. So I wanted to start out by talking to you about how I got into trucking, because I know you she don't look like a truck driver. And a lot of people say that I could jump straight out the truck. And people be like, you drive that truck? And I'd be like, nope, I don't drive that truck. You know, just to make a joke or whatever, but I shock a lot of people. I'm 5'2". I wear lipstick every day. And I'm a soft lady, but when it comes to that truck, it's like an alter ego. It just kick in, I feel like I'm like this little short man with a gangster attitude. It is stressful, but it's rewarding. It used to be really fun. They took a lot of the fun out with the rules and the regulations, which limit you on your money. And other than that, I love trucking. I always did. And I'm gonna tell you a story about trucking. But anyway, my testimony is this. I ran across my ex-boyfriend's check, and so I looked at his check and I was like, this is what they pay you to take it from point A to point B? He was like, yes. And I said, they pay you every Friday? He was like, yes. I was like, really? So he was like, yeah. So I was like, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, I could do that. I love to drive. Excuse me. So pretty much started looking at truck driver companies. I started noticing more women on the road. I was like, okay, she's in the truck. And my mentality is, if I see one woman can do something, I could do it too. Hell, if I see an old man can do it, I can do it, And so I was like, okay, I can do this, And so he was like, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do that. He never believed me, And at the time, I was at the hospital, CNA, helping cleaning people that come out of surgical ICU. And it just was hard. And I didn't like the part of wiping wounds and wiping behinds. And then you see your check, and I'm like, I'm poor. You know, I was really living from check to check. So I was like, I have to make that move. I have to make that move. And so I got into Snyder, which everybody knows is like a big, huge company. And they had like just started the tanker division. So they was like sliding people in, you know. And so I got signed up, and they was like, come on. So I gave my job. I was like, hey, I got somebody sick in the family. I gotta use my FMLA. And so I put all my furniture in storage, parked my little Mustang, and went to Dallas and started training. The training was 2 weeks, and they kind of like went step by step with you. They showed you how to drive, how to back up. Well, for starters, you know, you have to take your general test first. And that's the only thing I hate, because they want you to test on something you don't know nothing about. And I think that's kind of unfair, but that's just how all the state tests are. So you take the basic test. I guess they want to know if you got common sense. So you take the general test. I think it's like 6 or 7 tests after that. But Snyder and their trainers, they went, step by step, step by step. You studied, you know, you looked over different stuff. They showed you what was on the test. And I just did it. After a while, then they put you in a truck. So with me, you know, I was the only lady. And then it's like these guys, big guys or whatever. And it was like, oh yeah, I could drive a truck because I could drive a stick. And I was like, I don't even know how to drive a stick. You know, all I know is to just put it in drive and go. So my trainer was like, don't worry, don't stress yourself out, because they will rather people that don't know the concept of a stick, like, you know, shifting and automatic, you know, and sorry. So they was like, don't worry about it. We love people like you. Because really, like, if you try to compete with a car, how the shift is totally different from the truck. You know, the truck is actually made like an H. When you put it like in neutral, you know, the gears are made exactly like an H. And from my understanding, in a car, it's not made like this. So most people that was, you should have saw them. Most people that was like getting behind the truck, you know, big confidence. And they was like, jacking off. It's like they couldn't get it out their head. It was like they was just stuck because they was trying to use the concept of that car. And it was totally different. Sorry, my nose running. And so pretty much I got there, and you know, once he showed me, it was like the H pattern. All you do is remember, you know, which gear is in what side and in what row. And so I just started, and then we started the double clutching first, you know, old school. And so I just took off. I'm not gonna lie, that's one of the easiest careers I ever did, because it's just like, it just was so easy and natural to me. I was intimidated by the size of the truck, but that goes away, you know. After a while, you just kind of, you know, you realize and you feel your truck. You know the perimeters, but mainly you just kind of feel your truck. You know how far to go out, and you know you have to control this truck. You can't let this truck control you, and you can't let nobody handle you any kind of way, or you can't let nobody, like I say, drive your truck. You know, anybody that's trying to rush you, I never let nobody rush me. I just took my time until I processed all of it. And I think a lot of people, when they get into school, they think that it's just hurry, 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 because everybody, like, you got a time set schedule to get your CDL, or, you know, get this job or whatever. But you can't rush that. This thing is too big to rush. And we're not even gonna get into chemicals. It's certain things you can't rush, and you can't rush learning how to master the truck and driving it, and having the confidence, you know, having a peace of mind as you drive. So I did it. I just took my time. I was probably the slowest one there. I think we started with like 12 people. We ended up with four people. Four people, and I was one of them. You know, backing up the trailer, they show you how to parallel park, just different little things, and you know, you take your time. I can't say it was perfect. It probably took me like 10 times, but I got it right. And you just practice and practice, and it is a company that took out their time and let you practice, or gave you that extra hour in the truck to practice. Because of course, me getting on with Snyder, that means I had to sign an 18-month contract. But I didn't see nothing wrong with it. Most people like, I ain't staying here no 18 months or whatever. I saw me having a job, okay? And I'm talking about I get paid every Friday. I didn't even know what that was. So I was like, I got a job for 18 months, and all I can do is practice here. You know, it's practice. I'm practicing until I get it right, you know. So they take their time. I took tests. I'm not gonna lie. Air brakes kicked my butt. I think I took that like 3 times. And at that time, you could take the test, and if you fail, you can go on the other side of the town, go to the other DPS and take another test, and because you didn't already remember what you missed, you know. So I would do it like that. And I was just burning gas, or you know, they'll take me, or I get real nervous and then like go back to the hotel, because at the time they put you in a hotel. I study and remember what I missed, and the next following day you go back. And that's the thing, you know, it's just like, you have to do it on your own pace. Some people are good test takers. I'm not. I ain't gonna tell you about hazmat. And I wanted hazmat because when I got in trucking, you know, they tell you like what truck, you know, pretty much they're gonna teach you how to drive the truck. Now you got to pick the trailer. So I was like, what is the highest paying trucking? And so I Googled it. It was mainly, oh yeah, car hauler at the time, and then hazmat was secondly. I didn't see a lot of women in car hauling, and I didn't want to do that, because then you got to deal with the insurance, high insurance, and different stuff like that. I didn't want to deal with that. So I said, well, let me go with the money. Secondly is hazmat. I'm going to do hazmat. So I pretty much just went from there. I picked, like I said, you pick your trailer. Once you learn how to drive that truck, you pick your trailer. So I picked hazmat, and it's a lot of regulations. It's strict. You know, you think he finna like damn near be a FBI agent after you finish. But they do a thorough background check. You know, you can't be with them jiggers and doing all kind of crazy stuff, weekend warrior and all that, because they drug test you a whole lot. Because something that, chemicals, any truck, our mistakes is not, uh-oh, I messed up today. Our mistakes is, uh-oh, I almost killed somebody, or, you know, I almost killed myself. And I think everybody want to go home that day. Everybody got family to see, and you don't want to be that person to have taken a life because of your mistake or your foolishness. And that's the thing. I think that's what makes it so stressful, is because your little oopsies is not like, oh, I forgot to fax off that paperwork. When it comes to trucking, your mistake can really affect the whole family, or your family, or families, you know. So I think that's what gets you really nervous, you know, when you get in something that big and can't really make a mistake. You know, you could probably, you know, I'm talking about even little mistakes is still big. You can hook up to the wrong trailer, but now you got the wrong product. If they put it in the wrong tank, it's fireworks. It's 4th of July all over again. So that's what I'm saying. Little stuff like that, just missing a number off the trailer because you're not focused. And that's the thing, is one of these jobs, you got to let all that go. Every time I was stressed, every time I brought my problems to work, I messed up. Thank God it wasn't nothing bad, But it's the type of job, once you climb in that truck, you gotta let all that go. You gotta let that go and pick it back up when you get out the truck, because you have to be focused on what you're doing, especially when you first start. When you first start, you got to double check, triple check, 5-time check. You gotta do all kind of stuff to make sure. Cause even me, when I know I have a stressful day, somebody made me mad, my kids done stressed me out, my mama tripping, I could hook up to that trailer and then I go check. I know I didn't check this trailer, but I know I'm tripping today. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, but today ain't no good day, cause I'm all over the place, you know? So it's like, let me go check again. That's how you have to do it. And I know I look like I got ADHD out there, cause I know they be like, nah, she done went around this trailer 5 times. You right, sir. I sure did. You're right. If it takes 5 times for me to realize before I turn on Future and get the bumping and going down the street and ain't hooked, and this trailer is not really hooked up, you right, sir. I checked 5 times, and I don't mind looking like a dummy. And that's how you have to do it. You don't have to have, you know, don't have no pride when it comes to that. You know, you have your day when you gonna be super trucker, but you can't be super trucker all the time. Sometimes you have to know when to hold, when to fold. And with trucking, it's just, each day is totally different. So anyway, back to what I was saying, because I'm all over the place. Anyway, so I passed my test, finally. I think hazmat was like, I think I did hazmat like 4 times. By the time I finally passed it, I knew every question because I had missed every question. But that's what I'm saying. You have to. It's a hustle. You have to go back and you have to be patient. But that test teach you patience for getting the truck. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like anybody would get frustrated. You ain't passed the test the first time. You ain't passed the test the second time. You ain't passed the test even the 4th time. You done. You know, you be like, well, this not for me. All negative stuff come in your head. But then you be like, this can change my life. Because it absolutely changed my life. I'm telling you, I was like living from check to check to can buy my own home, take care of my kids, spoil my kids like I want to, do different stuff. I don't live an extravagant life, but I'm not begging nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not begging anybody, and I'm happy. You know, so it depends on what your happy is. Me personally, I just need somewhere to be solid and secure at, and make sure that my children and me not under the bridge. And you have a little extra money to do whatever you want to do. You know, if me being a millionaire or whatever may come up, then okay, it's in God's will. But if it's for me, it's for me. And that's how, you know, that's just how I live my life. If it's for me, it's for me.